something is broken in the universe, Eric. Something is so very broken. It's destroyed with terrible wokeries and nonsensical shenanigans. This thing is the
Hey.
bedrock of society. It's everything that we love and hold dear. This thing is Doctor Who. Doctor Who's broken. That's the premise we're working with. So we plan to fix it. We plan to make it better.
Mhm.
We plan to regenerate Doctor Who. We plan to rise it from its ashes like a phoenix and change it like a remix. That was Fall Out Boy. But unfortunately, we're not real teachers, even though the show is called Teacher's Lounge. We're just a couple of guys who pretend to be teachers. We aren't very smart. So we're gonna use the power of AI to fix Doctor Who once and for all. Probably not. We'll probably need to be fixed again within 20 years.
Yeah. Also, if AI ends up ruining it even more than it already is ruined,
Yeah.
I have no idea how this will go.
That's likely to happen, I think. There's a good chance that
Yeah.
whatever AI tells us will fix Doctor Who won't fix Doctor Who. No, it's just yeah.
Mhm.
All joking aside, sort of the because like everyone says, "Oh, Doctor Who, its best days are behind it. Doctor Who is broken. It's woke. It's terrible. It's nonsensical. It's all of those things, some of which I agree with. So yeah, we just thought it would be fun to just have a little chat with our favorite artificial intelligence chatbot, or our second favorite, perhaps. Uh, what's another one like Gemini? Gemini is way better
Yeah,
than
Gemini
ChatGPT.
is our favorite. It doesn't
Um,
cost any money.
yeah. So anyway, yeah, we're talking to ChatGPT. We're gonna see what it says to do to fix Doctor Who. We're gonna say what ideas we like and what ideas we don't like. It's gonna be a good old time. Sit back, get a cold one, beer, and enjoy our conversation, or soda, or milkshake, or whatever you tend to like to drink. You can drink it now, but not tea. That would be nasty. Um, so, yeah. I guess, are you ready, Eric? Do you
Yep.
have?
I have the chat GPT up.
Okay.
So
So
should we just
what?
ask it how do we fix Doctor Who? Like just straight up
Um,
and see what it says? Or
yeah, maybe we start there. Um, and
I'm
we
kind of
kind of see
curious what
where
it
where
would
we go from
respond.
there. Yeah. And
Okay.
worst case scenario, we just open up a new conversation and be like, uh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Good evening, chat GPT.
Mm,
I don't know why I'm writing good
very
evening.
formal, very
Yep.
polite.
I hope you are doing well. Why am I writing this like a letter? We need your help. Not ChatGPT. Doctor Who has been ruined, and we need you to help us fix it. How do you fix? How would you go about fixing Doctor Who? Does that sound good?
Sure,
Okay.
good enough.
I don't know why I wrote, I hope you're doing well. Because I was like being formal at first, but I feel like that's a little bit overly.
Yeah,
I'm just used to writing emails and texts
yeah.
like that.
You're just
Oh,
I'm
okay. Wow, that was quick.
okay.
Okay, it's still writing. But we can start reading at the beginning. All right. Below, it's a concrete, production-focused approach to fixing Doctor Who, aimed at restoring coherence, longevity, and audience trust without erasing its core identity. Sounds good.
Okay.
Already, this sounds like a pretty big promise, so we'll see. We'll see how it does. All right. Number 1, we center the Doctor as a moral force, not a mystery box. Then it says, reduce constant lore retcons and secret origins. I feel like that's probably a stab at the child episode, the timeless child,
Yeah,
where they retconned his or her
yeah
origin story.
I think that's not a bad sort of thought, because I think like the kind of the point of the Doctor is that you don't really know who he is, and also you don't really need to know who he is, you know.
Yeah,
Where I feel like the more they sort of go into his origins, the less interesting that kind of character actually ends up being.
yeah.
I do think like Stephen Moffat was kind of good at walking that line, where like you got scenes of the Doctor like on Gallifrey. Like there was one scene where like you kind of see him as a child when he was growing up.
Okay.
Anyway, that one kind of worked for me. But just because Stephen Moffat did a really good job of making Doctor Who really epic.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So anyway,
if they regenerate into different ages when they're kids, are they really kids?
I don't know. That's someone
do they ever like
I was
go
talking to, they were like, oh, I think the next regeneration of the Doctor should be like a little kid. I was like, that's actually kind of an interesting idea.
It'd be fun, but it'd also be kind of weird, I feel like.
Yeah. Well, also you would have to work with a little kid, right? Like that's sort of the problem with having kids in TV shows. Is like then you have to work with someone that
they're hard to work with.
Yeah.
At least a lot of the time. That'd be interesting, though. I will say that it would create a lot of interesting dynamics with the other characters and stuff.
Right.
Yeah. On that note, the next thing that this says, the Doctor should be compelling because of choices and consequences, not hidden backstory twists. And then the next one says, mystery comes from situations and ideas, not from rewriting who the Doctor is. Okay, so it looks like it also has like rules that it adds at the end of this. So the rule that it has here is no new revelations that fundamentally redefine the Doctor's origin for at least 5 to 10 years.
Interesting.
So, in 10 years we could change the Doctor's origin, I guess, but not like before that.
Yeah, not yet.
I guess that's what ChatGPT thinks. Not entirely sure. Yeah, I mean, I think those are good suggestions, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's also kind of like they only really did that once though, and like, yeah, the time that they did it did sort of like break continuity, but like the way this is wording it, it kind of seems like they're constantly like adding stuff to the Doctor's origin.
Yeah,
which is
that's
really
what I was
just
thinking
that
too.
one episode. So,
yeah. Well, the next thing, the next thing is recommit to strong episodic science fiction. Every season must include multiple standalone episodes with clear sci-fi premises. High concept ideas first, character themes emerge through the story, not speeches. Bring back episodes that ask unsettling questions, ethics of
Mm.
survival, time responsibility, unintended consequences. And the benchmark is if an episode can't be pitched in one sharp sentence, it isn't ready.
Hmm.
I feel like that's a good advice for it.
Yeah, I think that's really sort of good advice for storytelling in general. Is like
That's what I was thinking too.
if you can't sort of uh chop down your story to just like one, or like sell your story with just one precise sentence, then it probably has too many ideas. Um,
Yeah,
so
yeah. I don't think there's anything too like interesting or like specific to Doctor Who with that uh, idea immediately. I guess.
yeah, well, I think because part of the thing about Doctor Who is it's kind of a weird show, and that's like
Yeah,
a boon and a bane to the show, where it's like it kind of helps the show but also kind of harms it, because like you have to walk a line of like
yeah,
letting it be sort of wacky, well, it still sort of makes coherent sense, and like isn't just too
yeah. That
much.
makes sense.
So yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the next one, we're on 3. Restore consequences and limits. The Doctor should fail sometimes, and those failures should matter. Death, loss, and irreversible outcomes must be used sparingly but honestly. Time travel
Mhm.
should create problems, not erase them. Rule: no reset buttons that undo emotional stakes within the same season. Yeah,
Um,
I think that's also just good advice for time travel. Really.
yeah, I don't necessarily agree, because like I think definitely uh
Hmm.
there should be more death in Doctor Who, right?
Yeah.
Because um like since the beginning of New Who, they've just let death happen less and less. Um and like I feel like um like let a companion die or something, you know, and
Yeah.
and let's be sad about, don't like try and erase it or fix it, just have them die, and then it's like, right, and have them die in a
Yeah.
noble sacrifice, or like if they let Captain Jack die at the end of season 1, like that could be like an interesting sort of like um way to add gravitas to the show, like make it feel more heavy.
Yeah.
um but they probably won't do that. I think probably they're too scared, unless like
Yeah.
that
I mean, I
that's
think
sort of
part of it.
the new
Uh,
direction they go in now that they're switching up showrunners, is someone's like, I want to do heavy Doctor Who, which I think would be great for the show. So
yeah.
maybe
I was
maybe
gonna
that's what they'll
say.
do.
I think the reason they've kind of stayed away from that might be because they want the ability to bring characters back if they ever want to, and if they
Yeah,
like actually die, they can't really do that without it
right.
ruining stuff. But
Yeah,
like, and I don't know if like that would have been like their plan the whole time, but especially recently, they keep just bringing different characters back and
right.
doing that. It seems like, which is mostly just because like people like the characters and are like, oh hey,
Mostly
this
David
character's
Tennant.
in this, we should watch. Yeah, mostly David Tennant, which I guess he kind of did die, but then
Hmm.
he came back
Right.
because he's regenerated back into
Yeah,
himself.
yeah, yeah.
That sounds so
Which,
weird.
yeah, yeah. Which is weird. I would have much preferred, I think, to have um it just be another time travel thing where it's
Yeah, I
but
feel
it's
like that would have
I
because they've had
understand.
David Tennant. like time travel to
Mm-hmm.
see the other
Matt
doctors,
Smith.
right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it was really just for the 50th, they had him team up with Matt Smith.
Oh, okay.
And then, like, of course, in like, uh, expanded media, they have like every
Hmm.
doctor show up together because they can,
Oh, that
because it's
sounds.
expanded media.
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, where it's like, oh, here's the third doctor with David Tennant, and here's the ninth doctor with David Tennant, and here's um, you know,
Would they just like argue over how the TARDIS looks?
I, it's funny you say that because that's actually kind of a big part of um, the 50th anniversary, where with Matt Smith and David Tennant, is them
Oh, really?
talking about like
That's
how the
funny.
TARDIS changes. It's more of just like a side joke, um, but it is in there. Um,
I was just thinking because like they always change it pretty much.
yeah, which I wish they would keep it the
No,
same.
we need to have it be white. No, I like it when it looks run down and metally. No, it should be
Medley,
like I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah, isn't it kind of metally with Matt Smith's? I don't know.
yeah. Well, Matt
I
Smith
don't
had
really.
two. He had
He
one.
had to. Okay.
Yeah, he had one where it like looks more like metally, I think would be a fair way to describe it. And then his first one is
Yeah.
like steampunky. Um,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Yeah, I was
which I wish.
thinking like with the older doctors, it was kind of more usually white, and then they kind of brought back the white one. I think
Yeah,
for the newest doctor.
yeah. I think really all of classic Who, it was white. Aside
Oh, okay.
from a little bit for Tom Baker, where he had like a wood
Huh.
TARDIS interior. Um,
Oh, interesting.
yeah, and then Paul McGann, who was the doctor for the movie, his TARDIS interior just looks like a library. Um,
Okay.
so
Huh.
it's like like
Fascinating.
just like a big old room of a house with the TARDIS console in the middle of it. Um,
Oh, okay.
with like throw rugs and like bookshelves and all that sort of
That's
stuff.
kind of fun.
It is kind of fun. I like yeah, I definitely like having like some bookshelves and stuff in the TARDIS.
Yeah. It
Cause
seems like with like David Tennant's,
mhm,
it doesn't seem very homely, and
yeah,
so it's kind of just like.
but
So do they like? Does he like live in this place or like?
right, yeah. Well, also it's kind of goofy because like there's um the only door is out, so it's like it's
Yeah.
implied that there is other rooms, but then you never see
Yeah.
like doors to those other rooms. So it's like
Doors or like even the other rooms themselves. That'd
right.
be an interesting thing to
Well,
like
no, you do see his
kind of.
wardrobe in
Huh.
Christmas Invasion.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Like at the very end when he's
Hmm.
choosing a new outfit.
Yeah,
Yeah, that is true. I forgot about that.
which you also see like white versions of in Classic Who, which is pretty fun.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Um, Also, I like that TARDIS design because it's based on like coral, which I think is kind of fun.
On Coral.
Yeah,
Which one?
David Tennant's.
Dimensions. Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
why
I think.
like they have like those weird like bendy pillar things. It's supposed to be.
Oh, yeah, I can kind of see that now. Actually,
Mhm.
that's interesting. Yeah, I think David Tennant's might be my favorite from the ones I've seen, but I also haven't seen very many
I
besides.
wish I wish
Like,
that like if they would at least make them a little. more similar, you know? But now it kind of
Yeah,
seems like every time they have to have like a new crazy TARDIS design that they can
yeah,
like show off in promotional stuff and things like that. And I'm like, or like
yeah.
even because like the first and second Doctor basically
Hmm.
wear the same thing. Um, except like the second Doctor has like a bow tie. Um,
Okay.
and like but like he just wears it like it's a lot like bigger on him and like more frumpily. And I kind of wish they would do more stuff like that where they have the
Yeah,
costume like somewhat the same but then like add something a little bit different instead of like every time they need a new costume, right? Like that's where we're at now is like every doctor is expected
yeah.
to have a new costume, a new
Just have
TARDIS, and a new sonic
a
screwdriver.
completely,
And I'm
yeah.
like,
It's just a completely new like era
yeah.
kind of thing. Everything's different.
Yeah,
That makes
and
sense.
it's
I think
like I kind of I get
um
it because like again they want to like put the cool new designs on promotional stuff and stuff like
yeah,
that. But there is part of me that's like, but what if you just like like altered it slightly or like I don't know.
just changed it like a little bit, like, and
Yeah,
then
because
slowly it
it
could like
almost
maybe,
they almost just make it seem like the show restarts.
yeah, like it's like a reboot kind of thing.
Yeah, but like because Matt Smith he had his second TARDIS, which was in your words medley. It was like okay,
Yeah.
that's like it's a fine TARDIS. Nothing too special about it. But then when Peter Capaldi when he regenerated into Peter Capaldi, they used the same set. They just like added bookshelves and like a blackboard and stuff like that.
Oh,
Um
okay.
which makes it look really cool. And that's the sort of thing I wish they would do more is like use the same set but just dress it different for the
But
different
just
doctors.
like, yeah, I think that would make a bit more sense than completely changing it.
Yeah.
Um, Going back to the doctor's outfits, though,
Hmm.
I think I don't remember where I saw it, but which doctor was the one that had the scarf? Was that Tom Baker?
That's Tom Baker, yeah.
Yeah, I think I saw the 13th Doctor. The stripes on her shirt are actually the same colors as his scarf, and that's like kind of a little bit of a reference to it, which
Oh,
is,
that
yeah.
makes sense.
I thought that
She
was really
also
interesting.
in at least one episode she also wears a scarf. Which is kind of cool.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Apparently apparently I don't remember where I heard this, but like they don't like to use scarves because it's kind of hard to work with. Where like you're doing
Mm,
several
yeah.
shots and you have to make sure like the scarf is like at the same place and like they have to
That
figure
makes
out
sense.
how to um like how to mic up the doctor without like the scarf getting in the way of that and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
um
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. I think the scarves are cool, though.
I
I don't know.
agree.
I like Tom Baker's outfit, but on that note, do you want to get back to
Yeah,
the
yeah, for sure.
chat GPT?
For sure, for sure.
All right. Um, were we on three? No, we're on four. All right. Rebalance tone, wonder plus danger. Doctor Who works best when it mixes curiosity and hope, genuinely frightening threats, emotional restraint. Avoid constant quips during serious moments. Humor should contrast danger, not cancel it. I feel like that's a big problem with the MCU.
Yeah, I don't I feel like
Where it
it's
kind of
kind of
sometimes feels like over.
I feel like it's kind of the doctor's character to be quippy in like dangerous moments though.
Yeah,
But with that being said,
I think
I think like
you can kind of do it. in a way that fits, but I think you can also kind of do it in a way that kind of just feels overly
because I feel
like
like in the
unserious, I guess.
in the original Russell T Davis era, um,
Hmm.
I feel like they did a pretty good job of like giving the Doctor like emotional beats as well as like laying him like
Yeah,
quippy. Um, I feel like that's more of a problem with like the Matt Smith Capaldi era. It's just too many jokes
yeah,
back to back. So like, um, I kind of agree with that, but also I like my Doctor to be funny as well. So
yeah.
it's
I think
I think
that's kind of the same thing
you could
for
take
me.
it too far, right, and make the Doctor like not funny or fun at all. Um, and like
Yeah,
that would kind of ruin the show, I think.
yeah, I think so as well. I think it just kind of takes balancing, like balancing when you place jokes in there and kind of just humor in general. I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Um, okay. So it looks like as these go down, they kind of get more specific. So
Okay.
the next thing it says is number 5, companions as equals, not mouthpieces. Companions need independent motivations, believable flaws, the ability to disagree with and be wrong about the Doctor,
Mm.
and their arcs should conclude naturally, not stretch indefinitely. Rule: no companion exists solely to react or deliver themes. I think that's a good one.
I mostly think so. I feel like this is the thing with like ChatGPT is it's like
Uh-huh.
it says things that sound good but are so vague they almost don't mean anything. Um, where
Yeah.
it's like
I
it's
mean, I
like
think with like all of this, like so far, it's kind of been like that where it's like this could be like good, but like how much, if it was too much, I think it could be a little bit um like not good, I guess.
yeah. Um, how did I do that? I'm sorry, I started messing with the camera thing. Is that it?
With
No.
the camera thing.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Yeah, just the display on here, which is gonna be very not fun to edit. So it was very smart. But I'll worry about
Ah.
that later. Um, yeah, well, because like it says like oh the companion shouldn't be like just there to like react to the Doctor, but it's kind of like that's kind
Yeah.
of literally why the companion is there. Is like you need some
Yeah.
like a normal character to connect with for like the Doctor's um
Yeah.
craziness. But with that being said, like throughout most of New Who, up until the Disney Plus era, I think the companions were pretty
Mhm.
good. Like they were pretty well
Yeah.
written. Um, and I know like everyone has like one or two companions they don't like, but like even if you don't like the character, it's like yeah, but you still sort of know who that
Mhm.
character is. Now the Disney Plus era, I have no
Yeah.
clue who any of those characters are. So
Yeah. I think that makes sense. I think it's kind of fun how with every like companion they kind of
mhm.
make them uh have like a very specific personality that's kind of contrasts to the last one. And I think they kind of do that with the Doctor regenerations too, but maybe not as much. But I feel like
Yeah,
every companion kind of has like a very different personality. Like I think
yeah.
um
Well, I think
Rose to uh I can't think of her name. Who's the one
Dawn.
after Rose?
Oh,
Yeah, Donna.
Martha.
That's good.
Martha is directly after Rose, and then it's Donna. Um,
Oh, really? Okay. I was thinking of Donna though.
and then it's Amy.
They're like very
Um,
different.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think it could be kind of said that like because like uh you had um Rose uh I don't know like some of the companions have things in similar in common with each other,
Yeah.
I would say, but I don't know. They're interesting. The companions are interesting. I like companions.
Yeah.
um yeah, but I mean just make them characters. Make them more than nothing and
Yeah. I
or
think
like
that's
more
kind of the
than a
basic
vague cardboard
of it.
cutout and you'll kind of be fine, I think.
Yeah. I would agree. The next thing it says is number 6.
Mhm.
Make regeneration rare and weighty again. Okay,
um
I don't really agree with what this says, but it says regeneration
okay.
should feel like a tragedy mixed with hope. Build toward it slowly with visible physical and emotional cost. Avoid
mm,
treating it as a marketing beat or a gimmick. I don't
yeah,
think that they should be tragedy or like treat it like dying
mm, yeah, I mean
because I feel like
I
I don't know.
do kind of feel that way. Like I think the
Oh, okay.
best regeneration is with Eccleston, right? When he
Yeah,
regenerates into Tenant. And
that's
like because
that's
like there's
fair.
just so much weight in that. And part of it is because like it's way too soon, you know? And you're like, oh, but Eccleston was so great, so it's
Yeah,
so sad to see him leave so suddenly. But also, I think like I think that said build to it. I don't really think you should build to it, right? Where like this is
yeah.
my issue with a lot of Stephen Moffat episodes is there's like, oh, the doctor's dying and it's a huge event that he's gonna die and regenerate. Um,
Oh,
and I'm like,
yeah,
no, just have him. Which I mean, part of that is because it was um, uh, Matt Smith was technically the 12th regeneration, even though he was the 11th Doctor.
11th.
Um,
Yeah,
but because they did something weird and David Tennant had to. Um, but so part of it is because like he's technically supposed to be the last regeneration, so they kind of have to make a big deal about it, sort of. But it was just too big
yeah,
of a deal, and like, um, I don't like sort of the idea. Oh, the world is gonna shatter when the Doctor dies, right? I think it's like no, just have him,
yeah,
sacrifice himself to save the day and then in any story, it doesn't have to be against like the Daleks or the Master or like something big, right? It doesn't have to be a big
yeah,
epic. I think again that's part of what makes Eccleston's regeneration so good is that like the story didn't have to have him regenerate, it
yeah,
didn't rely on that. Like it's a great story. Um and then the fact that like he does regenerate just sort of like caps it off in like sort of a beautiful tragedy, I think. Um,
yeah. And
but
I think my main thinking
mhm,
that I kind of like don't really like the idea of it being treated as
mm,
death is because I feel like if you overly, I guess mainly just if you overly do it, because you
mm,
can just make it um, kind of turn it into like it being kind of a like, I guess like overly like kind of like dramatic where it's
mm,
like he's gonna die, but then like he does come back as a new person, so it's kind of weird to um, do
Yeah.
it. And I think it kind of makes sense where it's like he becomes a new person. I think if you focus on that aspect of it, but if you just treat it like death, like the doctor's gone, that's kind of a little bit weird for.
Yeah. Well, and I think like I like what Matt Smith says when he regenerates, where um he's like we're all changing all of the time. So like, what I'm doing is like nothing different. And he's like, you just have to remember everyone you've been. And I sort of like that,
Mm,
where it's like he's just sort of acknowledging like, um, I'm just moving on to a new phase of my life, sort of thing. Um,
yeah,
but I sort of like to think of the Doctor as um like he does die, and then um like something like his son, um like uh pops up, right? Like uh it's like is it's like someone who's similar to him, um that has all the same memories, right? But
yeah,
a different person nonetheless. I sort of
yeah. That makes
like
sense.
that way of feeling about it. And like when David Tennant regenerates, he has this line where he's like, when when a Time Lord regenerates, it's like um you sort of like disappear to like the back of the head and see like someone like, basically walk away with your body. Um which again I think is
Oh, interesting.
sort of an interesting way of thinking about it. Um, so yeah, is I don't know. Is I think I feel like Doctor Who kind of is wise in not um fully explaining what regeneration is.
Yeah,
So like that way, if you want to believe that like it literally is just the same person but he looks different, you can do that. Um, but if you want to believe it's like completely a new person, you can believe that and that sort of thing. I think
yeah.
I think that's
That makes
not
sense.
not a bad way to go about it. Um, but I do think regeneration should be less of an event. Um, I think it it would be impossible at this point because of leaks and stuff. But
Hmm.
to do um, like a surprise regeneration, right? Where you don't know an actor is gonna
Yeah,
leave until you see him regenerating on TV. Um, but
I feel like that would make it a bit more uh, fun
mhm.
anyway.
Yeah, which I mean, I guess we kind of got that with uh, Shooty Gatwa regenerating into Rose.
Oh yeah.
Um, But
However that
that was
works.
clearly not like them being like, oh, we're keeping this secret to surprise people. That was clearly like, oh, he wants to leave, so we're just gonna tack this on really quick. Um,
Yeah, we're just gonna
which,
find who
yeah,
should we get? How about Rose? She
right, yeah, someone,
that would get people talking.
someone that will bring in names. It is kind of fun because uh, there's a clip from like a
Uh-huh.
year, or I want to say like back in 2020 or something, where it's Christopher
Hmm.
Eccleston at Comic Con. He's asked like, "Who would you cast as the Doctor?" And he says Billy Piper. Um,
Oh
he's
really?
like, "I like the idea of Billy Piper doing it," and then the audience like kind of has to, uh, like figure out if it's Rose or whatever. which is
That's
it's kind
funny.
of funny because it's almost like
It would
did someone
be
see
an
that?
interesting.
You know?
It would kind of be an interesting thing to explore, but like
Hmm.
if he was actually kind of planned out and how it happened, and it was like kind of a
Right.
mystery kind of thing that you actually like
Yeah.
built out. But I don't
Yeah.
see it
And I
being
mean,
that with them just
we'll
being like, "Hey,
we'll
Nakuti's leaving.
see.
We have to like find someone."
Yeah, we'll see how the Christmas special with Rose turns out. Um, because like there's always a possibility it could be cool, could be good. Um,
Yeah, I am
but
kind of curious.
yeah. Um, yeah. You want to move on to the next thing?
Yeah, sure. All right. Number 7. Respect continuity without being trapped by it. Continuity should reward longtime fans, not punish new ones. Use the past as texture, not scaffolding. When in doubt, tell a good story first, then check continuity, not the reverse.
Mm, I
Okay,
think
that's interesting.
there's oh, I want to say full fat videos. Um, which is a channel that he makes a lot of videos on like Doctor Who and the MCU and stuff. Um,
Oh, okay.
he did one on The Well, which is an episode of Disney Plus Doctor Who that's a sequel to actually
Oh,
my
okay.
favorite episode of Doctor Who, Midnight. Um, but uh, oh man, I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, this something he said is like um they oversell it as being like a sequel, where it's like they're
Mm,
like, oh, this planet used to be called Midnight, right? And it's like, okay, that's all you have to say. And then the people who know the episode that's referring to will be like, oh, but then
yeah.
the people who don't won't feel like they're missing anything. But instead, they have to like put in flashbacks to like David Tennant in that
Oh,
episode, right? And like all this sort of stuff. Um, I'm like, yeah, you can be subtle about these sorts of things. Not everything has to be like, spelt
yeah.
out in neon colors, right? Like, yeah. Or like, this is kind of a weird example because it's not my favorite episode, but
Mhm.
there's an episode of Star Trek, the original series, um, called The Naked Time. Weird name. I don't know why they called it that. But it's basically like everyone on the ship, there's this virus that makes everyone like act drunk and lose self control and stuff. So they're all just like kind of going crazy.
Okay.
Um, so then there's an episode of Next Generation called The Naked Now, which is a sequel where it's like the Next Generation crew runs into the same virus, right? In that episode,
Mm,
they have uh, like Riker. I believe it's been a while since I've seen it, but Riker's like, this seems kind of familiar. And then he's like, oh yeah, I remember like in the history book, Captain Kirk, who was like the captain of the
oh,
Enterprise
yeah.
way back when, also ran into this, right? And it's like they didn't need to put in any like weird flashbacks to the original episode. No, and it's
Yeah.
like they refer to it enough to know that there is an episode, but you don't feel like you're missing anything have you not seen that episode,
Yeah.
right? You
That
just
makes
know,
sense.
oh, they're referring back to something from back there. That's sort of cool. Um, and
Mhm.
that's sort of, I think, something that is missing, right, in the modern day. I think in part because we have streaming. So, like, the studios sort of think, oh, we can, um, if we make like pointers to other things, then people will have to like look up that thing and watch it.
Yeah.
Um, and like the goal is to like point people to the other thing, right? This is the Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett as well, right? Where it's like the Book of Boba Fett is its own show until you get to the end. It's like, oh, actually, this is just the Mandalorian now. But like, you don't know who this character is unless you've seen the Mandalorian. And then
Yeah.
next season of the Mandalorian, he's like in a completely different place and situation. And it's like, oh well, you don't know why Kroger or whatever his name is. You don't know why he's back unless you go and watch the Book of Boba Fett. So now you have to watch that, even if you
Mm.
don't have any interest in that particular character. Um,
Yeah. It's
and
kind
like,
of
yeah,
weird to make like connections between things that aren't in the same exact like show where you have to
right.
watch them to understand
Well,
fully.
and that's the thing is because like the Book of Boba Fett, it like it was sort of a is it Icarus who flew too close to the sun and his wings melted? I think.
Uh yeah, that sounds right.
Anyway, that's kind of what like the Book of Boba Fett did, where it's like, you have Boba Fett be like, "Oh, we're gonna need to
Mhm.
call in some help," and then you hear the Mandalorian music. You're like, "Oh, great! Is there's gonna be like, one crossover episode?" But then you watch the next
Oh,
episode, and it's just an episode of the Mandalorian, and I'm like, okay, I mean that's cool enough.
yeah.
Um, like I under right, like it's kind of fun to be like, oh, and here's just one episode about this character. And then
Hmm.
the next episode is like 90% the Mandalorian, right? And then ends up just being the
Yeah.
last half of the show is just the Mandalorian. And it's like, dude, you spoiled the milk, so to speak, right? Like you could have done something really cool just having him called the Mandalorian. And then the Mandalorian shows up and helps
Yeah.
him out, right? And then next season of The Mandalorian, you get to have the Mandalorian see Boba Fett, and like you can reference back to it, have him be like, "Oh yeah, I remember that time when I helped you out." But again, if you don't want to watch the Book of Boba Fett, that way you don't have to, but you just kind of know that there is
Yeah.
that event in there. And
That's interesting. That
it's
seems
something
like a weird way
similar
to
with like the
go about
Hobbit
it.
movies. Um,
Hmm.
where it's like I remember when the second Hobbit movie came out, I was like, "Oh dude, I hope they do a Legolas cameo in the second Hobbit movie because like he technically would have been alive at the time and he would have been where the
Oh yeah.
hobbits are gonna be." And then you watch the second Hobbit movie and it is 50% Legolas, right? And then the
Oh
last Hobbit movie, again, is 50% Legolas. And it's like, dude, you could have done
yeah.
something great just having him show up in a small moment, right? But then
Yeah.
you just like made the movie about him, and now like the movie is just like doesn't work as a coherent story. Um,
So kind of just like overdone cameos where it's
yeah,
like you kind of overuse them where it's like they're not really cameos, they're just it's
right.
about them.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And it's like, and that's the thing is because you you can do cameos that work really well. right? The Mandalorian showing up
Mhm.
in the Book of Boba Fett just to help out Boba Fett for one episode, right? Like that would have been a fun cameo. That would have been a fun
Yeah.
crossover episode. But yeah, they just have to go and be like, but everyone loves the Mandalorian, so we need half the show to be about him. Everyone loves Legolas, so we need half the movie to
Yeah.
be about him. And it's like, well, now you're just like, you aren't telling one coherent story. You're just like, just showing us a bunch of things because you think we want to see it. And
Mhm.
like, fair enough, because like, uh, we do kind of want like a Legolas movie or like a more Mandalorian.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
but the fact of the matter is, if you try and shove it in something else, it takes away from what that thing is.
Yeah. That makes sense.
How does that apply to Doctor Who? I don't know. I think we sort of got caught up on
We
that.
kind of got on a side tangent,
I mean, I
which
guess
is
that's
funny
that's
because
kind of
this isn't
like,
tangent studies.
yeah. That's kind of like the difference in how they brought back David Tennant in like the 50th, and how they brought him back
Yeah.
in uh whatever, was it the
Whatever.
60th?
Like
I think it was
I
the
think
60th
maybe.
anniversary, which is crazy that there was
Yeah.
that much time in between those. Um,
That is. Huh. That is really interesting. I
anyway,
didn't even like
yeah,
think about that.
but um, but because in the 50th, um, like you have him show up, and again, it's sort of like, oh, it's sort of a crossover episode. Um, but then the 60th, it's like a lot more of like a weird plot point. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's crossover episodes are fun. We
Yeah.
can do crossover episodes. Not everything. It's
I I agree.
This is sort of a problem I have with the MCU movies as well. Is the MCU got to
Hmm.
the point where just like every movie is an Avengers movie now,
Yeah.
and it's like,
That.
and what that does is it makes it so you can't be like, oh, I'm gonna just watch all of the Captain America movies. No, you have to watch all of the Captain America movies, all of the Avenger movies, but you won't understand the Avenger movies unless you watch also all the Iron Man
Yeah.
movies, right? Um, and it's like it was fun in the beginning where like Captain America would show up for a small cameo in
Hmm.
like Thor 2, for example.
Yeah. That's part two.
Even though that wasn't
Or he's like not
actually,
actually
yeah,
there.
even though
Yeah.
that's
Loki's
not
just
actually Captain America,
that was a
that's
fun
the sort
scene.
of, yeah, that's the sort of crossover that is really fun. Um, but or like when like Captain America shows up in like the post credit scene of the Spider-Man, I think Spider-Man Homecoming it was, right? And it's like the
Oh yeah.
difference
Like
between that
very
and then like them
weirdly.
being like, yeah, Iron Man is a main character in these movies. And it's like, but why? Or like Doctor Strange is,
Yeah.
he's not a cameo, he's a main character. And it's like, that's just too much, right?
Yeah. That
So,
that kind of makes sense. I feel like that kind of is like how I kind of felt when watching Spider-Man Homecoming, was that it kind of
mm,
felt like it fit way too much. It kind of went hand in hand too much with Civil War.
yeah,
I don't think like I think it's understandable as a standalone movie, but it doesn't feel like it's really its own movie because it references it like
right. I
throughout the
mean,
entire thing,
but you can't
which kind of
really
makes sense, I guess.
watch Spider-Man if you haven't seen at least like one of the Avengers movies or one of the Iron Man movies, Like you
Yeah,
can, but there's things you won't understand. Um
yeah.
I think that's
I
too
kind of
bad.
wish that for the MCU they had done a more traditional Spider-Man story.
Hmm.
I'm personally not a fan of. I mean, there's some things I like about Spider-Man: Homecoming, but I wasn't as big a fan of like trying to like have Iron Man be kind of a replacement for Uncle Ben,
Right.
and also not really explaining why Spider-Man is even Spider-Man to begin with.
Yeah. I think like they're good enough to watch, but I think where the real test of like how much you actually like a movie is, are you gonna watch it
Mm-hmm.
again? I have not watched any
Yeah,
of the Spider-Man movies since they've come out. Right. Um
like any of the MCU ones, or like
yeah,
any of
yeah.
them in
And any of
general.
the MCU ones. I've watched, and that's what's
Oh,
crazy is
okay.
because I've watched Amazing Spider-Man 2 a number of times, right?
Yeah,
So it's like
I've
there's
watched
there's
the first
something
one twice. I don't
about
know if I've
the
rewatched any of the
yeah.
other ones.
There's something about Amazing Spider-Man that's like, yeah, I'm down to watch that one,
Yeah,
multiple times. Whereas like the Tom Holland ones, I'm like, I already watched it. Um,
yeah,
I do
that's kind of true
think
for me too.
when the second Far From Home came out, I watched it a couple
Hmm.
times in theaters, like with different groups. Um,
Oh, okay. That's a little bit different though
yeah,
than like ch-
right,
choosing to like just watch it by yourself again
yeah,
after seeing
yeah,
it the first time.
yeah, and like even
That's what I did with the Amazing Spider-Man, like the first Amazing Spider-Man, is I watched it again by myself.
yeah,
That's one of my favorite ones, even though a lot of people don't like it as much.
right. Well, and like it's fair to not like it. Like the story
Yeah,
definitely
I
has
I think
plot
so as
holes
well.
and like problems, and like the sort of romance in that first movie is really creepy. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
but yeah, there's something about like that version of the character that I'm like, yeah, I want to rewatch that. Um, right? Is
yeah,
I would I if they announced like they're making Amazing Spider-Man 3, I would be more excited for that than Tom Holland's fourth Spider-Man movie.
yeah. I think I would as well. I I kind of I think at one point I saw that there was like rumors of making like a TV show with Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man,
Oh yeah.
but I don't know if that. I think that was just rumors, but I thought that would be kind of cool to like if they were able to kind of have it be the same style and
Yeah.
stuff, and then
I
just have
think
Andrew
well
Garfield's version of Peter Parker.
I think kind of there's a bit of a problem with that where he's so much older now. Um
Yeah, I thought about that as well.
but I think if they were to do it an animated show, um that
Yeah,
was like a continuation of Amazing Spider-Man, I think could be fun. I
that
now
could maybe
like
that'd be interesting.
we've never really seen something like that, um, where like a TV show or
Yeah,
a movie is continued in like a animated TV show. But
yeah.
nonetheless, I think you
At
could
least
even
not
do it
Marvel.
as like a non-official, um, like sort of sequel to Amazing Spider-Man, where
Oh, where
it's
it's
sort
like
of
not necessarily canon,
right, but it's sort of
or like
implied that's a continuation of that universe. Um,
yeah,
I don't know.
that would be cool. Like I would watch it if they like tried to bring back that world. Because I think it has such a like with Oscorp and just kind of the aesthetic of it, especially, is probably my favorite part of the movie. Like,
Yeah,
despite all of its problems, I think that's the main reason I've kind of come back to it, is because I think
yeah,
uh, it's just a really cool style, and like also um, like the this is kind of mainly would apply to like the movies, but the CGI I think is like better than the other ones.
mm,
Uh, which is interesting because like even though MCU Spider-Man came after that, I still think that the CGI in Amazing Spider-Man is better.
mm.
than the
Interesting.
MCU one.
It's definitely like
It
a,
feels more grounded, I think.
yeah, it's like a sort of darker aesthetic, which makes it feel a little more
I think that
realistic.
might
Where it's like
I think that might be it, where it's like it doesn't
yeah,
necessarily look more detailed or anything.
there's
It
no
just
like
feels more,
giant sand elementals or
yeah,
things like that. It's just
yeah.
but speaking of Andrew Garfield, he was in one
Uh-huh.
episode of Doctor Who, which is what we're
Oh yeah,
trying to fix here.
which is
Um,
what we're fixing. We're not fixing
so
Spider-Man right now.
here's how we
That'll
fix
be another
Doctor Who,
episode.
I think. We cast Andrew
Okay,
Garfield as the Doctor.
I could see him doing it pretty well, actually.
Yeah, he has the charisma and emotional range for it, right? Like
Yeah, I think so.
I've heard a number of people be like, I kind of realized I liked this isn't me, this is other people saying this. But they're like, I
Okay.
kind of realized Andrew Garfield was my favorite Spider-Man actor when I watched No Way Home and I realized
Mm.
he was the one I was paying attention to as opposed to the other ones. Um,
Okay, interesting.
so like
I haven't seen No Way Home yet,
I
so
feel like that's something that the Doctor needs is like that sort of someone with that sort of charisma where they can carry the scene. Now, I think
yeah,
I don't think Andrew Garfield would take up the role if he was offered to it because I think
yeah,
he was kind of burned um, by doing Spider-Man for like that sort of like that big of a character. I think he
yeah.
tends to want to stay away from those sorts of roles nowadays. Which is too
That
bad
would make
because
sense,
again,
I
I
think.
feel like he has the charisma and emotional range for like that sort of a character.
Yeah, yeah. It would definitely be an interesting thing to have a character, an actor who's played Spider-Man to also play Doctor Who, where it's like
Yeah,
two very different characters, but like you can kind of see it with Andrew Garfield.
yeah. You know who
It just kind
else
of makes sense.
I think
Uh
would be
huh.
good? As like sort of a recent. Um, the guy from Knives Out 3, uh, Father Judd,
Oh yeah.
the actor who plays him. Because like
I could. Huh.
it's
Yeah.
again, it's the
I could kind of
emotional
see it.
range that you can see in that movie where it's
Yeah.
like,
And
right? Like I feel
did
like he would be like a
did he
little
use an
bit.
accent in the in Knives Out? This is
I
kind of
mean,
off topic. Like
he
I don't remember if
he uses an American accent because in real life he's
yeah, that's what I was
English.
thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched an interview with them after we made our video
Hmm.
about it, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, he's British, huh?"
Yeah. Um.
I was trying to like
But yeah,
remember if he was British in the actual movie or not, though.
right. It's that kind of emotional depth that you want
Hmm.
for the Doctor, where it's like
Yeah,
you need to be scary, charming, and like deeply sad, right? You need to be able to do all those things. Um, and
yeah,
I think he would be good at it.
yeah. That makes sense. Hmm. Well, do you want to see what ChatGPT said? There's one
Yeah.
more, or sorry,
Okay.
two more.
All right.
The last one's like way shorter though.
Yeah.
Number 8. Put a single disciplined showrunner vision in place. The show needs a long term plan, minimum 3 seasons, clear thematic goals, editorial restraint, fewer writers, stronger scripts, and tighter revisions. Doctor Who thrives under strong authorship, not committee storytelling.
I think
That's interesting.
there's one, at least one thing in there that it's deeply wrong about. I think the show needs not fewer writers, but I think it needs more writers. Um,
Yeah,
because because like I think that's part of the issue with the Disney Plus Doctor Who is is just like completely Russell T's vision, and like there's no one
Mm,
to like tell him
yeah.
when his ideas are kind of dumb. You know, that's kind of how it feels. Um,
Yeah, that makes sense. I
where it's
think
like
it's also kind of cool to like be able to see like how different writers write the
right,
episodes
yeah, yeah. No, I feel like
because it kind of adds more variety to it, I think.
right. I feel like shows are better um with a writer's room, right? I feel like when it's
Yeah.
just kind of like one guy working on a show, um again like it's there's no one to tell him when his ideas are dumb, right?
Yeah.
There's no like sort of counterbalance for like the problems with like that one writer. Um
Yeah,
so
I think that makes
yeah,
sense. I can kind of see that with like any kind of creative project is that like if you see anything that's made by like one person alone, usually you can kind of see their flaws coming through a lot more in
right.
their writing or in their
Yeah.
art where it's
I
like
think
if you had another person there you could kind of balance it out maybe or
right. I think storytelling is at its best as like a collaborative effort. Um
yeah, I think I
which is
kind of
which
agree
is
to an
funny
extent.
because like a lot of people do tend to be like, oh, if it's like one person's vision, then that's what's better. Um,
Yeah,
but
it's
I
kind of
just don't
a
tend
thought
to
that
see that. I tend to
I
see
think
where
like
like
the
people
idea is
work
like
together, they can sort of
yeah.
um like bring in everyone's strengths, and then like if like we were writing something together and I'm not good
Hmm.
at writing endings and you're not good at writing beginnings, then like when we come together,
Yeah,
I get to write the beginning and you get to write the end, and then we have a good story all the way through.
yeah. I think kind of the intent behind have saying like one person should write the story
Hmm.
uh, is kind of like mainly comes from the idea that like it's if you get the wrong people working together, it can just become convoluted. So I think kind of it's not really about having only one person fulfill the story, but having
Yeah.
like good people, like people who work really well together doing it.
Hmm. Yeah, I
And
think that's
it
true.
otherwise it could really just turn into like a mess of like different ideas that kind of contradict each other, don't work well together, but it's like everyone's passionate about their own thing. So I think like really it's not really about having one person, it's about having the right people.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
But yeah, I think I kind of agreed with everything else that this one said. Um,
Hmm.
I mean, it's it's kind of like just I feel like writing advice. Like you should have good thematic goals, know exactly what you're like trying to say with the episodes, and like
Mm,
that kind of thing. So
yeah.
I feel like kind of a lot of these like things that ChatGPT is saying is kind of just like good writing advice.
I mean,
But
I think
uh-huh.
I do agree with that. Um, but I also think like a lot of times with TV shows, if
Hmm.
you allow yourself, you kind of accidentally step on something amazing. Um,
Yeah,
where it's like, I think
I think that's true.
that's in part what we see with like Star Wars, for example, is
Yeah.
um, like the original Star Wars movie, A New Hope, which I
Hmm.
just watched the other day. But
Okay.
like that movie is really good. I think it's not necessarily George Lucas's fault that it is really good. right? I think a
Yeah.
lot of what makes it really good is the limitations they had at the time, and I believe Spielberg was also involved with that movie. I
Oh,
could be
okay,
wrong
interesting.
about that,
Um,
but
that sounds like it might be the case. I know that I think he was involved with some of the newer ones, maybe.
yeah. Well, I
I think
mean,
I know he
they
was involved with Star
definitely
Wars at one point.
they definitely did Indiana Jones together. Was Spielberg and George Lucas's
Yeah, yeah, that
baby?
that was made clear. So I feel like I remember him being involved with Star Wars, but I could
Yeah,
be off. I don't know. But if you're saying that, it's kind of more likely. I feel like.
I kind of thought that he was involved with A New Hope, and
Oh,
this is
okay.
gonna be so embarrassing if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
What sounds right in my head, and I could be completely wrong, and could be involved with none of them, but I think he was involved with
Yeah.
New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, and left
Okay.
for Return of the Jedi. Was involved with Return of the Jedi or
Yeah.
any of the
That makes
prequels.
sense.
Um, I
Yeah.
don't know, but they definitely did Indiana Jones together.
Correct us
Um,
in the comments if
yeah.
we're wrong.
Nonetheless, uh, I do think that Star Wars is a great example of like the other people involved, sort of
Yeah.
make it work, and then like the prequels don't work as well. I'm not someone who's like, oh, the prequels are terrible.
Yeah.
There are parts that are
I
terrible,
don't.
much like
There
Amazing
are parts.
Spider-Man. The prequels are
I
very
kind of agree with
similar
that.
to
But
Amazing Spider-Man in a lot of ways, where it's like they're
yeah.
movies that obviously have problems, but are very rewatchable, right? Like I rewatch the
Yeah.
prequels all the time. Um, so
Yeah.
yeah,
I think I've actually rewatched the prequels more than I've rewatched the originals,
yeah.
which is kind
I
of
think
interesting.
because I watched A New Hope the other day with a couple of my coworkers, and
Oh, okay.
um uh I don't I think I have only seen that movie like once or twice. Prior
Yeah.
to that,
I've only seen it
I
twice.
want to
I
say
saw the
I want to say this is the
original
third
version of
time
it,
I've
and then I
seen.
saw the new version of it.
Yeah. Um. Nonetheless, uh, yeah. What's our next thing
Back to Doctor Who.
for Doctor Who?
Last one. Trust the audience's intelligence.
Mm,
Stop over explaining themes. Let subtext exist. Allow silence, ambiguity, and unresolved questions. I think that's great for like I kind of feel that way with I think mysteries in general,
yeah.
where I kind of feel like they need to have a little bit of an unresolved part of
Yeah.
them, where it's like
Well,
there's still questions.
I think part of the problem is that
Hmm.
movies are now made for casual audiences, as well as TV
Yeah,
shows, where it's like,
rather than
um,
like huge weird nerds like us.
because right, but like, I think everyone kind of knows someone where like, uh, they watch a movie and they're like, I didn't understand what was going on at all, but those fight scenes seemed cool. And it's like, did you just
Oh
like
yeah.
miss all of the dialogue or something? Um, but I feel like that's kind of where like every movie like tries to hold your hand, where it's like you can't
Yeah,
miss any plot point, right? But I think when you can't miss any plot point, it really feels like you're sort of like being pandered to, and like
yeah.
it makes the
I I kind of agree
storytelling
with that.
also feel very juvenile as well, I think.
Yeah, I think I can
But
kind of see like the same thing with like video games,
Mm.
because playing like, which I don't play video games that much, um, but playing like older video games in comparison to newer ones, which I
Mm.
don't even play the same genre of newer and older really usually, and I don't even play video games much. But it's kind of the same thing where it feels like a lot of newer games are way more like, here's what you do, where a lot of older games you kind of have to figure it out on your own a lot more,
Yeah. Yeah, and older
which is kind
games
of the
did not
similar.
hold your hand at all. They just sort of threw you in.
Yeah,
And
they're
like
just like, you got to figure this out.
it was usually like if you had the manual that came in the game, like you could learn like what buttons do
Yeah,
things. Um but then if you don't have the manual, you just sort of gotta figure it out. Um
yeah.
but yeah. I think was
It's
that our
it is
last
kind
one?
of an interesting. Yeah, it was.
Okay. Yeah. I was gonna say I think it that sort of again goes back to like the sort of the well example and like how
Hmm.
it's like um right, they could just say, oh, the planet's called midnight, and then the doctor's like, oh no, right,
Yeah,
you don't have to show a flashback or anything like that
yeah.
to
You
get
don't
the
have to
point
be overly like.
because those
This
of
is
us
exactly
that
like being
know
kind of.
we,
Yeah.
we keep trying
Sorry.
to cough at the same time. It's very funny. But it's like because those of us that know that episode, we know the episode. You don't have to
Uh
show it
huh.
to us. And then those that don't will only feel like they're missing something by you putting the flashback in there. So it's
Yeah.
especially
I think
because
it's always better to be subtle with
mm,
stuff a lot of the time.
mhm,
Where it's like, okay, this is a reference. That's kind of when I was writing a book series I was working on a while ago that I probably will never finish. At least I don't have any plans to at this point. But that was one of my rules for like the separate books, because it was going to be several different books. Was kind of like, I'm allowed to like reference the other books, but I'm not going to make it so that it feels kind of like if someone's reading one of the books that came after the other one where they don't know what's going on.
mm,
Because I feel like there's a lot of books where they don't really make sense unless you read all of them.
right,
And I think kind of that's kind of my thing with a lot of shows as well, is I prefer kind of the like standalone episodes better than
mm,
like story, kind of like this is the next part of the story. And I think
yeah,
there's a lot of like, I think kind of that's more of like a Star Trek or like older show kind of thing where they're more always like standalone.
yeah, and I think
And more recently, it's become more of a like watching a long movie,
right,
basically.
and I'm a big like I like an in between, right? It's not
Yeah,
like that's sort of what Next Generation is it's not every episode is
yeah,
completely separate, but it is like separate enough where you aren't missing anything if you haven't seen every other
yeah.
episode.
I I feel like Percy Jackson almost does that kind of well, where it not necessarily in that sense, but like how it's able to have each episode feel like it's about its own thing,
Mm,
while also still having the like background journey of them doing stuff. Because they had like the one with like the Lotus Hotel, and they had like where it's like you can be like, oh, this is this kind of episode. This is the episode about this thing, instead of it just being like, yeah, this episode happens here, kind of thing, where it's like each episode has its own distinct
yeah,
like main thing that happens in it.
yeah. Um, you have anything else to add, or should we sort of call it there?
I don't think I have anything else to
Okay.
say.
Yeah, I think
This one kind of was more of a conversational episode.
right. Yeah, I think the big problem with Doctor Who is that
Mm-hmm.
they're sort of like they're trying too hard to reestablish um to reestablish the show, and by
Yeah.
doing that, they're like divorcing things that previously worked about the show, and
Mm.
it's
Yeah, that
like
makes sense.
it's sort of the thing where it's like if it's not broken, you don't need to fix it, right? Like
Yeah.
people um people like the old stuff, so do something that feels, at least in
Yeah.
some ways, like the old stuff, and then give them, every once in a while, give them something a little bit new. But like the
Yeah.
tone they're going for now,
Hmm.
it just doesn't work. And I
It.
think
Yeah.
most
I think.
people agree it doesn't work.
Uh-huh. That was kind of the main thing. Like when I was watching like the Disney Plus Doctor Who with you, I was kind of just like, this doesn't feel like Doctor Who, and I want to watch actual Doctor Who.
Yeah, it feels like
Or like the older. Like if I want to watch Doctor Who, I want it to feel like Doctor. Like I don't care who the Doctor is or like what happens necessarily, but the
mhm.
feeling is like the main thing that I think I care about when watching stuff is,
Right.
and I think that most people would probably agree where it's like even watching like a bad episode of something, like as long as it feels the same, it's not like as bad, I think. But when you're watching something and it doesn't feel right,
Yeah,
it kind of is like I just feel like I'm watching something else
right.
entirely.
And that's what I'm saying is like the intro, right? I think that's the
Hmm.
best Doctor Who intro we've had so far, right? Because it feels like the new version of like the original, like Eccleston, David Tennant intro,
Yeah,
right? With elements of the Matt Smith intro, because like they add in like the lightning and like the TARDIS being struck by
yeah,
lightning, which is fun. I like it. So yeah, I like that, but then it's like I don't know. I think they really try too hard to like appeal to like um, the TikTok generation, um,
yeah,
and by doing that, they just sort of create a show that's kind of nothing. It's kind of nothing because like if
yeah,
you're on TikTok, like that's what you get is a lot of nothing. Um, There
yep,
is there is some interesting and fun TikToks, but uh,
yeah,
like the ones that are interesting and fun, I've said this a million times. I would much rather watch like
mhm.
a full length video of them than
Yeah.
like 10-second,
Just
just
a
short
1 minute thing or
short form
whatever. Yeah,
content.
that's
Yeah,
that's my opinion. I kind of feel that way with Instagram too. I do like Instagram's reels a lot better because I think TikTok feels more meaningless, just like random entertainment kind of stuff. Where I think with Instagram, it seems like, at least for me, I get a lot more like kind of interesting, like educational or like
yeah.
storytelling
I
videos that I'm
mean
kind of like, oh,
that
this is actually
might
kind of interesting.
that might be just because Instagram has had more time to like um, figure out what you like.
Yeah,
Um,
it could be, but I
anyway,
don't know.
all that being said, let us know, how do you think we fix Doctor Who? Do you think that we need a, a doctor that doesn't look like a human, like a doctor that looks like Greedo, like a Rhodian doctor? I don't know. It could be interesting. Um,
That would be interesting.
Yeah, let us know if that's what you think. Or maybe an Akbar, a Mon Calamari doctor. That would be crazy. Um, yeah, no, no,
I'm just
but
imagining people's reaction when they announce that, though.
the the 16th Doctor is gonna be played by the Admiral Akbar puppet. Um,
Be
yeah,
wild.
no, yeah. So let us know like what you would do to change Doctor Who that you think would make it work, or just what you would want to see in Doctor Who. I'd be happy to engage with that in the comment section below. And of course, if you're into Doctor Who, Supernatural, or the Star Trek shows, you can subscribe to this channel where we talk about all those things. Um, and yeah, until next time, just have a very lovely day. Uh, don't forget to stop and smell the roses. Bye bye!
Bye, audience.